NCRP Productions presents Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands, Episode 26. Good evening and welcome back to Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands. This is Barry. I will be game mastering for you tonight, and let's go around the room. We'll meet everyone.
Hi, I'm Jill, and I'm playing Raya, the Mourner.
Hi, this is Matt. I'm playing Ayden, the Antiquarian.
Hello, I'm Michael. I'm playing Dr. Everett Wolf, the doctor specializing in alchemy and chemistry.
Hello everyone, I am Ty. I'm running Ray Callahan, our allegedly unpossessed pugilist.
Hi, it's Sequoia, and I'm running Frankie, Undertaker.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro. I'm running Dr. Desmond Wright, the doctor.
So, as we ended last week, and Bonagal was riding Ray, there is the hope at this point that Ray is finally and completely unpossessed. There was a battle inside the tent, inside the food tent. We had Wright and Wolf squaring off, continuing that discussion of the way things should be, how doctors should be, do no harm, etc. But additionally, you guys did see come off the top of Ray's head a red emission that went up in the air and out the top of the tent. Ibis, who is the witch that you guys met and haven't really met that much, she passed out, falling down, striking her head on the low table. Nobody has dealt with her yet. And moments after that, you guys all made sure you were alive. I'll remind you that presently, here we go, Frankie has vomit on him. Both Ray and Ayden have each other's vomit on them. There is, if I remember correctly, a small splash on Dr. Wolf. I believe the only person holding Ray down that didn't get vomited on was Raya.
That's why I held on to him from behind.
From behind, right. Because you knew it was coming. In addition to the vomit, Ray is completely exhausted. Quick run around the room. I did a little more research on healing, kind of an important thing. The two thropes don't matter in this, but for the rest of you, a flesh wound, that is the simplest of the wounds, takes normally 2 weeks to fully heal.
Hey.
With medical help, that flesh wound can take 1/6 less time, which is such a bizarre number. I would have done 1/7, but it means 1/6 is approximately 2 days and like 19 hours, some insane thing like that. In addition to that, we'll move up the scale. Serious wound takes 4 weeks to fully heal. So it is going to be very apparent to the characters that the very ugly, nasty-looking wounds that were put on Frankie have gone pretty much to white scars. So that, if you had any question about there being something, you now know. And for the two new characters, which is Ayden and Ray, you guys will have seen that. You will be aware of it. One of you, and I apologize, it's been enough months now since we played it, I don't remember who didn't see the cut, but one of the two of you saw the open cut, and I believe it was Ray. I don't think Ayden saw it, but you did see the cuts as they were starting to go away. For the thropes, if I understand it correctly, you guys heal a day per wound level. Mm-hmm. So a serious takes 2 days. A flesh wound is healed by the next day.
It downgrades by every day, so any serious goes down to flesh, and then flesh goes to nothing.
All right, so that makes complete sense. Exactly what I said. 2 for serious, 1 for flesh.
And then what? How many ones does Ray have right now?
God.
Ray has so in importance, the way they fall off is they fall off from the tallest. So he has a serious wound, and I believe 3 flesh or 2 flesh locations.
I have 2 serious, 3 flesh, and then I have 3 of my stats, coordination, wit, and intellect, currently at 1. My vitality is currently at 2.
So he would take theoretically months or 1/6 of months.
The 1/6 of a month. So the serious wound is a level threshold.
Okay.
So all of his serious wounds will take 4 weeks.
All
to
of
heal.
serious will go down. Serious will go down 1 level.
Right.
You mentioned from the top down.
Serious will take 4 weeks to go to 0.
To go to 0.
In the process, the flesh wounds will have disappeared, but he will still, because you only take the stat or attribute damage or deficits from the highest, even if flesh wounds fall off, he's still getting the serious. So effectively, as soon as the serious is healed, he's no longer the -2.
And
they don't downgrade.
and all serious go together.
Yes.
It's not like one serious than another. That's what it sounded like at first, you meant.
Yeah, and there could be that for game mechanics, it's going to be easier unless, he's at 1 day for his 4 weeks and he gets another serious. We might bump it back up to 4 weeks. I don't know that I want to have a healing day or the other direction. So wounds here are a pretty big deal. Now, I believe some things like Stitch and some other basically chemicals can make that go faster as well.
Yes.
But presently out here in the burning desert, he is not going to be healing quickly.
There's also the thing about like needing bed rest and stuff like that speeds up the healing times. If he's not getting the rest, he's not really healing all that well.
And even when we tried to make him rest, he didn't do it.
No, Ray doesn't rest, so that's another issue.
Ray perpetually has a serious wound.
That's the way I would look at it. So the additional problems that you have came from a number of drugs that were injected into you.
We need to talk about that.
Well, no. All the other drugs don't matter. It's just the newest drug that's really effective.
Right.
All the other ones were flushed out of your system very precisely.
And we made the decision, having not read the rules and not wanting to waste time in game, it's going to be 5 hours before the drug effects will clear from you. And then per hour, those levels will go down. So I believe you were -2 to 2 things and -1 to 1 thing?
Yeah, it was... He specifically is -2 to vitality and coordination. And then it lasts D5 hours, which we ended up just doing for 5 hours.
Yep.
Yes?
Yours is flawed, right?
That's the flaw.
That is
the flaw.
Oh, Clarity doesn't normally do that?
No, it does not.
No, Clarity... Well, no. Clarity actually does have... That's an additional. Sorry, let me...
Okay.
We can pause if you want, but let me look it up, because there's some...
Because I remember there being,
There
Clarity
was.
is both bad, and then there's a flaw that makes it worse.
Clarity is bad, so let's see, because I believe you failed your vitality roll.
Probably.
So you suffer a -1. Yeah, so you're at -3 vitality in total. So now the -1 to vitality from regular Clarity will last for 24 hours.
Wait, if I drink Clarity, can I purge myself of the throat? I'm just kidding.
So you are -1 to vitality for 24 hours, and then -2 to vitality in addition for 5 hours, and coordination by 2. And then, if your vitality goes to 0 because of this, you die.
Sorry, not sorry, by the way.
That's okay.
And I believe, one more thing that we'll add in, I believe all of the serious wounds that Ray has are party-caused.
Yes. Yeah, actually, funny enough, all of...
So this is not the group you want to be gaming with.
You're in a bad way.
I'm looking forward to the day where the tables have turned and somehow it's us that are on the ropes and Ray is going to be the one that's like in full health. He's like, no, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Or gets the opportunity to just slug each one of us.
So Ray, where does that put you with the -3 vitality?
1.
At 1. Okay. So
if you get -1 more from anything, you die.
So, things you guys are going to want to consider. At this point, Dr. Wright has said he has no intention of helping carry the beds. You guys have 1 space free for not carrying the beds.
I'm also an old man. You're going to make an old man carry beds?
Yes.
Like you've been acting, yes.
So,
Nice
Ray
answer.
was expected to carry, and if I remember correctly, Frankie was going to match up with Ray.
No, he was going
I was
Match up with
Wolf.
Wolf. I apologize, because I knew it had been mentioned. So, as you guys are in there, kind of looking over what's going on, looking at your clothing, Akbar, again, has come in and said, we must go now. And he seems pretty frantic, and he says that in Egyptian. What do you do besides the scrape and throw of vomit from your face and shirt?
We need to get going.
What happened? Oh no! I see. I'm like just dazed because of all the stuff that happened to Ray here. But then I see, the woman is like, does she look like she's bleeding? Or, she looks like she's fainted as far as I know.
She already has some discoloration around the eye and up into the forehead from where she's struck.
Yeah, I'm going to check on her. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm going to check on her.
Okay, so you lean down. Go ahead and give me a medicine roll.
Well, I was going to do that, but you know what? Now that I see Dr. Wolf going, I'll back away.
All right. Akbar looks around the room and says, what... To you, he says, what happened in here?
It's a long story. I'll fill you in. Why don't we get moving?
Yes, we must. What is he doing? And he's pointing at Dr. Wolf. And Dr. Wolf, the roll was?
16.
So she has a definite contusion along that edge. If you make your time, or you take your time with moving your hands across her. Bones are not broken. Whatever she's done, she's hit very hard.
Okay.
Definitely a concern. A concussion, that type of thing. Yeah. She is moaning a little bit as you're touching, so you are at least, she is aware. You're aware that she is aware.
Okay. She hit her head real hard on the table. I mean, unless someone's asking me, I don't know what he's saying. I'm checking this.
So I was going to say, she hit her head taking care of the evil spirit possessing my friend.
Yes, but she doesn't matter. Come.
Well,
and he looks very serious.
Wow.
Dr. Wolf will take care of it. We will help you. And I'll just be like, come on, let's go.
Dr. Wright, Ray is not in any condition to carry a bed. You will need to carry a bed in his place.
I will not be carrying the bed of these corpses.
So Akbar is still standing there watching you guys. Of course, he doesn't hear any of the English stuff.
Let's go, and I'll head outside. And...
So you step out. Does anyone follow?
Also, you have made it very clear you do not want my involvement in the treatment of these patients. Therefore, I abstain myself from helping them. This is under your wishes.
You're out of the tent, so you don't get to say anything. But for the other people in the tent, what are you guys doing?
I'll start walking.
All
away.
the selfish things.
And I'll stop. And I'll say, selfish, Raya, is trying to bring back a corpse. Actually, you know what? I realize that actually falls... Actually, that's perfect. Foolish is trying to bring back these corpses for nothing more than your own gratification of saying you've done something good. You will bring these things back, maybe. And then we'll get to see what you do with them all then. I will not be carrying these corpses. And then I'll walk out.
So before you go out, Raya...
As he's walking out, give me 1 sec. Right, go ahead and make for me... I need a wits roll from you, please. And continue. Sorry about that.
So before you leave, Raya is actually going to get up in your face.
Ooh.
And I'm going to say, when we leave Egypt and we get out of this place, if we all get out of here alive, you and I are done.
If that is the way it must be, Raya, then that is the way it shall be.
I will no longer be associating with you when we get back to London.
Now, I don't know that was yelled, so I'm going to assume that for the people who are in the tent, you can choose whether you heard that or not. You two heard it.
Yeah. I got a 15.
A 15. So one of the things that clicks to you, just so that you're being aware of it, this could be one of two things for you. One, if they do come back from this is dead becoming alive again. That should have a value to you.
Yes.
Second thing, remember why you're here.
Yes.
Okay.
I have doubts on a magical cave.
Yes, I totally agree with your thinking. I'm just letting you know that your head is there.
Yeah.
Be interested to see if it changes. All right, so Raya has left. Ayden has left. Wolf is still at Ibis's side.
Yeah.
Frankie, Ray, Wright.
Ray is barely conscious.
Yep. So Ray has been in worse shape than this before.
Actually,
I don't know.
Not in the game.
No, I didn't see in game. Getting out of the ring, Ray has been in worse shape than this before. Okay. And you have one vitality. You are still who you are, and I have never seen Ray shrink from anything. So I believe that if you choose to, it would be very reasonable for you to say, you know what, I'm going to power through it. This is what I'm doing. But that is up to you. I do not want to tell you what to do. By the way, one more to the center, please. So, Frankie, Ray.
Well, I'm just kind of like laying there, probably like face down in the pillows. I'm just like...
Covered in vomit.
Yep.
Oh, you only have a vest on too, so it's just pure skin and wounds. And
I don't remember the picture. Does Ray have hair on his chest?
I don't think so. No,
I don't think
you
so.
expertly wax that somehow.
So I'm just gonna slowly push myself up and be like, Ayden, when this is finished, you and I need to have a chat about my payment.
And then you realize that Ayden's not in the room.
Ah, son of that!
All right, and then you leave.
I'll carry a stupid bed.
So when you go out, so for everybody that's going out, if you're heading to where the beds are, remember the tent is down. It has been opened up, in part to air it out, in part to give you guys easy access. So you head that way. Frankie, Wolf, and Wright are currently in the tent.
I thought Wright left.
Yeah, no, I left.
Frankie and Wolf are left in
Yeah.
the tent at this point.
Wolf is as this conversation's going on has closed his eyes, like he hasn't moved, like everything in his power, especially from what Wright was taught when Wright was talking, was to keep whatever it was inside him from just picking up the nearest utensil and slamming it through his throat. That was the urge. There was just that urge that he needs to just shut him up, and it was a violent urge, and it's the only thing keeping him some focus was the fact that he was the slight moans and of pain and the need of someone under his care. Focusing on that was the only thing that kept him from doing anything.
Very good.
Frankie's gonna come over to Dr. Wolf and Evis, and he's gonna, kneel down and pick her up, and then carry her over to a collection of pillows.
Okay.
And lay her down.
Away from the table.
Away from the table. Away from
Away from
The
the vomit
offending
pillows.
women.
away from the vomit, and he'll lean her on her side, and then he's gonna walk back over to Dr. Wolf and put a hand on his shoulder and say, "There are more people to help. We should go."
Wolf nods. Was there any bowls of water or rags or anything? He at least wants to make sure there's something to keep the swelling
You
before.
could grab one of the pieces of cloth that they were using to wipe hands with, and there was definitely a water bowl in there.
Yeah, he's just going to do that because obviously he's not going to be able to do much more. They need to leave now based on, probably some dialogue that he may or may not have understood. But he's at least going to, put something there to try and help with the swelling. It's not going to be much. He knows that. There's going to be a lot more, but she will live one way or the other. It's just...
That's your belief presently, yes.
This is... Frankie, you've known Dr. Wright the longest. Well, longer than me, at least.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of him as a doctor?
I mean, they don't say Peerless for no reason. I think if he wanted to, he could do just about anything.
If he wanted to.
Yeah.
Does he actually want to help people?
We should go, Dr. Wolf.
He gives a sigh because Frankie's non-answer was an answer. And he puts the thing gently on the woman's head and, "I'm sorry." And
pat
he
him. Oh,
goes.
yeah.
Okay. So as you guys head out into the night, and for the group that is currently standing, getting set on the beds. Yes.
Are you skipping to us actually leaving the camp?
No.
Okay, cool.
Not yet.
Because I want to do something before we leave.
Yes.
A couple
So,
things.
so again, as you guys are walking out of the tent, those who are getting to where the beds are getting set, and then the group that's coming out, it is cold. Now, to my knowledge, nobody is wearing a coat. I believe the majority of you have coverings, head coverings, shoulder coverings, but it's a single piece of cloth over lesser covered bodies. I know a few of you have armor and that type of thing. For everyone, it is cold, okay? Now, I'll remind you, we do still have a couple other people. Billings and Mei Ling are here, and they are standing on two different beds. They are not carrying one together. Marud and Cal are here. They also are standing at two beds and ready to go. With the group of you, which is 2, 4, 5, because Wright is standing on Kane and just watching, and the other 4 are the 9, you have 12 beds. There are 24 people currently here in total. What you notice of the remainder is they are all either teenage boys or men. There are no old men. There are 2, if I remember correctly, amongst the 12 beds. The remainder are all females except for the one child. There are no old men here. There's just the young boy that you worked with, and he appeared to be in by far the worst condition of all of them. Mm-hmm. You don't have a whole lot of hope for him. So Akbar turns to you as you're coming over, Ayden, and he says, we must go. We have little time. And as you guys are starting to let your eyes adjust, you notice that there is moonlight that periodically gets dusted over. As you look up, you just see it fade in, fade out. There's not cloud cover, but that continuous swirling, moving sand that moves day and night. Now it's cold. During the day, it is burning hot. He starts pointing for each of you to go to a specific spot. Ray, he looks at you and he sets you up on the opposite side of Billings. I know that Wolf,
That's salt in the wound.
Wolf and Frankie are going to be set together. Mm-hmm. He looks at you, Raya, and he immediately sets you with one of the strongest men that he's got. It's your choice what you want to do with that. Ayden, he'll bring you over. You're going to be with one of the younger men.
Okay.
Do you take offense? Do you do anything? Do you say anything?
We just need to get going.
So you take your space.
I'll take my space.
All right. So does anyone else have anything before we leave camp? I asked you last week what you guys were bringing. I am assuming that Wright has his valise and not his cane unless he is carrying it under his arm. He is packing both guns at least. Wolf, are you bringing the valise?
Yes, it's like, on the bed, with
Yep.
the boy's bed at the end where I'm at. So it's
All right.
like, obviously he's shorter, so there's space for me to put it there.
Are you taking then the boys' bed? You and Frankie will be taking the boys'
yeah.
bed?
Yeah.
He wants to be with the boys because that especially that stitching, he needs to make sure is carried very particularly.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to do before we leave camp?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to rinse off I don't think I'd make a big show of it. I would just rinse off the cross if it has any vomit on it.
So that would be in the tent, in the food tent, before you leave, right? Okay. Dr. Wright.
So while they're getting ready, effectively what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my horse. Because what
Your
I
camel?
Yeah, my camel. That's right, camel. And I'm going to reload another charge into my stun cane.
Okay, and that gives you how many charges?
Just 3. 3 is the max charge.
Very good.
And then what I'm also going to do is normally I have my hide in my bag. And mind you, I can get in there pretty quick.
Yep.
But I want to take out and change around, like basically take out a little pouch that has my syringes in it.
Yep.
And keep it on, like in my coat pocket. Or I don't have a coat pocket anymore, I guess.
You don't.
Yeah.
Are you not bringing the valise?
Oh,
then?
no, I am bringing
Okay.
I'm just thinking for more easy access.
Okay.
Put them in the bandolier,
Yeah.
Pop a
That's
few
pretty
bullets
funny.
out. Pop
Yeah, that's pretty funny, actually. A bandolier of syringes sounds really great, actually.
Oh,
That would
and
work.
really frightening.
I'm gonna have to use that later. No,
welcome.
actually, so I think what I'm gonna do is effectively spend some time, rearrange my valise, or actually probably organize it more likely,
So you're organizing the valise while they're getting ready.
so that I have better access to my stuff.
Perfect.
And yeah, and I think I already said last time that I strapped up, so I think I'm good there.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything that they're intending to do before we leave? So Akbar will say to you, if you would have your people pick it up, we need to move as quickly as we can.
All right. Everyone, let's start moving.
And so there's a pickup. You guys have a line of 12 moving. Dr. Wright, where in the line are you? Front, back, as far away from Wolf as you can be? What would you like to be?
Well, 2. 1, as far away from Wolf as possible.
Okay.
No, I'm not even mad at Wolf. We have a fun back and forth.
It's jaunty.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a very spirited discussion that we're having between two gentlemen.
Jolly good. You should have seen the debates I got in med school. Have you and a colleague ever made homunculi to fight each other?
Diluted my own ego.
Yes.
Is the thing.
It was unstoppable. I had to kill myself. So, no, I'm probably going to be in the back. Actually, no, I'm going to be close to Frankie.
Okay.
Which unfortunately is close to Wolf.
Well, it's very
Oh, yeah. He is close.
That's fine.
Then, yeah, I'll be like 10 feet behind
And
Frankie.
you are carrying the cane, but not walking with it. Is that right?
Yeah, there's no point in walking with it.
Right. Okay. So I don't believe anyone specifically has yet said anything about him not walking with the cane. I know it has come up in earlier sessions that people have potentially seen it.
I've kind of given him an explanation with the drugs that I take,
Right.
quote unquote.
Right. If anyone wants to at this point, you can make a decision for yourselves for future on Wright and the use of that cane, just so you have that out there. So you head out of their camp. Fairly quickly, you'll come up a rise, and you guys will notice that with the very little moonlight, the one moonlight that you have, it looks like you are just literally going to be walking for miles. It looks like a fairly straight walk. And you do walk in what appears to be a straight line. I mean, any line's a straight line from here to there, but as you come down from the hill, if you look back carrying these things, you will be able to look back and see that your line of prints go all the way up the hill, and you can match where you're going on the horizon. You stop roughly every 10 or so minutes. It is exhausting. At a half an hour, I want everybody who is carrying to give me a vitality roll. It is an 11. There's no adds on to it. If you have subtractions, go ahead and take them, but just a simple vitality roll.
I'm fine.
Give me 1 sec, because I may be allowing you to add something to it. Anybody who has acrobatics, survival, I am going to keep it at that. But anyone who has acrobatics or survival may add the higher one to it, and then not yet.
I'm sorry, Ty.
You will at some point have concentration added as well. Anybody not make the 11?
13.
By Matt's face, I'm thinking maybe not Matt.
Not on that first roll.
There we go.
Okay, we're good now.
Okay. Oddly enough, if you guys keep track of the other people, as you would expect, Cal and Marud, literally no problem. They look like they could carry a single one each. Interesting thing, I was looking through the book, just so you guys have an idea on vitality. There is a huge step between a vitality of level 2. Who in this group has a 2 or less? Just Ayden?
I used to have a 2.
Okay, so at level 2, you are what I would consider to be an average person. You basically can lift about 90 pounds free weight, okay? The difference between 2 and 3 is ridiculous. It goes from 90 to 240 pounds, okay?
What?
Right. And it allows for deadlifting up to 540 pounds. I don't consider myself to be weak. I can't deadlift 540 pounds. So just to give you an idea, for those of you who have a level 3 in vitality, you are an athlete. And they do say that, but I mean, consider what I mean by that. You are a very, very strong athlete, football player, a bodybuilder, a weightlifter, a swimmer. You are strong and active.
Dr. Wright has a 3. That's so funny.
Dr. Wolf went from a 2 to a 4. He
Right.
got jacked.
Yeah, I don't think we gave
What
that the
kind
weight.
of juice am I drinking?
Wolf and Ray, I believe, both have 4s when they're not injured.
Yes.
And Frankie. So just consider how crazy strong you guys are compared to modern world. Just so you know. Marud, for those of you who are watching, your guessing is in your range. You are guessing that Cal is a step down in, because Raya has a 3, is in that range. Just to give you guys an idea, I was reading and I thought, holy smokes, we are playing a fantasy role-playing game.
Oh my god.
So
I'm surrounded by Captain America.
Well,
When the bad guys attack, I'm just, you guys got this!
also, I'm working on bumping mine to a 4 as well.
yeah, it'll be interesting to
that's
see
so
him built. So for you guys, 15-minute breaks. The first hour, nothing happens. You guys are all continuing. Some of the younger men of the tribe are complaining. Dr. Wolf, go ahead and give me a medicine roll. At one of the breaks, the young man starts groaning and complaining. Actually, you wouldn't understand the complaining.
Well,
I feel like
I
complaining
did,
is a tone.
Yeah.
I did botch.
You botched.
I'm not paying attention to them, probably because that's in the direction of Dr. Wright, and I don't want to look at him.
Okay.
So I shouldn't wink at you?
No.
So here is the situation for you. You set him down. You've heard the complaining and the groaning. They say they're ready. Akbar is, talking to Ayden. Ayden says we're going to lift on 3. And as far as you're at right now, the young man is dead. What do you want to do? Ayden's told everyone to lift.
Pulse. At this point, it's like, wait, he may be dead, but I don't want to demoralize anyone else, so it's better to keep this guy to take this and carry it all the rest of the way through.
Frankie,
Can I do like a perception check?
you may. What would you like to perceive?
I want to roll melancholy,
I'm
by the way.
assuming this kid goes still, right?
Yes.
So I mean,
He was moaning, and when you guys stopped, it's not anything Wolf did, but Wolf started prodding at him. The moaning stopped.
I guess let me change that a little bit. I think what I would notice is the change in Dr. Wolf's demeanor. So maybe
Yes.
let's have him roll this melancholy and go from there.
I just made it, so I'm not.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but there's definitely an attitude change in Wolf, and you are not hearing any noise from the young man. For everybody, I want to remind you, I believe, Ray, you do still have your standard gas mask.
Yes.
So you are the only one that is not really dealing with the smell. Because you're moving, because the wind is blowing, I'm not having you guys make any kind of a roll for it, but the smell never ends. And at this point, you guys are getting to the part where you're starting to wonder if you're ever going to get this smell out of your clothes, out of your beard, out of your hair.
Gross.
Frankie. And then then to add to that, a couple of you have vomit. So,
Oh yeah, I'm all sticky. Ugh.
all right.
Okay, I guess I don't need to roll perception. I guess I don't even know what is perception for Unhallowed. I can't remember right now.
It's wits.
What? Okay, yeah, I'd like to roll the wits to see like how close do I think Dr. Wolf is to, that was a really tense situation. This is a really strenuous walk. I just kind of want to gauge where he's at, like trope-wise.
I would answer that, but I'm going to Michael, I'm going to have you answer that. So when Frankie looks at you, he's been walking with you now for nearly an hour. He's been with you a number of times. What is Frankie's perception of your current condition?
That's a very good question. And when you mean by thrope, are you thinking like, what, am I about to like thrope out? What
Are you
exactly
twitching?
You mean?
Are you sweaty? Do you look like you're about to lose it?
It's very it's very interesting. It's very obvious as you're watching, he's doing everything he can not to look at Wright. Mm-hmm. Whether it's because out of a fear or something or aversion. The most you ever see a twitch is when he catches a glance at him and it's manages to breathe into himself and goes there. Those are the only signs you're really seeing of a potential thrope out. And even then it's like whatever else is keeping him distracted. When he was poking at the boy, there was a flash of some irritation of something else kind of come through, but it was pushed down.
No standard triggers, throbbing vein in the neck, throbbing vein on the forehead, okay?
No.
Okay. All right.
He does not look like he's going to turn, but he's definitely far more irritable than you've ever seen him.
So while you guys are standing and you two are fairly motionless, Cal comes over and asks Frankie, doesn't talk to Wolf, who is focused on the child, and asks you, how is the boy?
I mean, so looking at him, how do I think the boy is?
He's not good. So did you feel for a pulse?
No.
Okay. So he does not look good, but he hasn't looked good from the beginning. To you, he doesn't necessarily look much worse. One good thing in your mind, he was groaning and there were complaints, and the complaints have finally stopped.
Well, Cal, he's quieted down some.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. I just figured, are either of you having troubles with the carry?
No.
I know the stench is stronger with him.
I'm more worried about Ray than us. He, Bonagal, I think made a reappearance in the tent just
This
before.
is the spirit from the home?
Yes, the same one. The woman, the witch, Ibis, she did some kind of, I don't know, ritual, I suppose, and something happened to him. It looked like maybe Bonagal left, but I know Ray's not doing well.
While you were talking, Cal looked at Marud and whistled once, putting his fingers into his mouth, whistled once. Fairly high-pitched, very poignant whistle.
Have I seen that before?
Nope.
No.
And Marud comes over. It doesn't look like a dog being called.
I get
It looks
you.
like a come over.
We're far away, there's
Right.
wind, yeah.
Right. So Marud comes over, and Cal will look at Marud and say, please tell him what you said.
Well, before we left, the Bonagal spirit made a reappearance in Ray.
And you'll see Marud's eyes open, just
And-
wide. And in this little bit of light, the white of his eyes really
jarring.
stand out on his
I
face.
feel that any emotion would be jarring on Marud.
What?
The witch, she banished I don't know if she banished it, but a red smoke.
When you say the witch, you mean the unclean one.
No. Oh, who's the unclean one? Bonagal?
No. Actually, you may not have been there for that discussion,
Yeah.
so you may not know. The woman in black.
Yes. Yes, that one.
It would make sense.
But I know that Ray looked, and he was also tranquilized, I think. I can't remember. He was injected with chemicals. I do not have the greatest faith that he will make it this entire journey.
They're both looking at each other, and Marud says, I will at least look into him. I will make certain. And at this point, Cal says, look, if you need anything... Cal looks at Wolf, whose head's still over the boy, and looks at you and says, I don't understand. Why don't you have Dr. Wright working on the child?
Frankie just kind of looks into the long distance.
that might be. I mean, half hearing conversations probably focused as soon as the right thing goes. That's probably the moment he steps away from the boy for a moment to and that's the moment where it's just like the kid's probably fucking dead, but I got to make sure at least these appearances look up. But I'm having a real hard time right now.
And you're saying that under your breath?
Well, he's not saying that under his breath.
Okay,
He's,
just making sure.
It's going on in his head, but there's like very
So Cal will watch Wolf walk away from the child for a moment and then looks back at you with kind of a puzzled look.
Dr. Wright's been really busy this trip. I don't really know what with exactly, but he couldn't work on the boy. Dr. Wolf had to.
Well, this makes no sense. He's a doctor. I'll be right back. So,
Right back.
So, Ray, Marud approaches you. He comes up to you. I'm assuming when there's a chance for you to not be carrying, you're probably sitting. I don't imagine your character with your background meditates. I would think your meditation is...
There is something that he's done on this break, though.
Mm-hmm.
So he normally has a little crucifix around his neck. He's actually taken that little pendant off, and he's taken the crucifix off and thrown it off in the desert.
Do you believe... Would you give anyone a chance to see you do it? In around this
he
table?
doesn't hide it, but...
But what I'm saying is, when you did it, was it a showy thing, or are the chances pretty slim anyone else would have seen it?
It's not showy. I
All
just
right.
do it.
So, and the chain, I don't know that anyone other than Frankie has seen that around your neck. Oh, and Ayden would know
Well, he
about
doesn't
it.
wear a shirt. Everyone would see it.
Everyone would have seen it. So now it's
would
just
see
the
it.
chain without the crucifix.
No. He takes a family trinket of his and fastens it to the necklace. Instead.
What is the trinket, or does it matter?
It is his wife's wedding ring.
Every time Ty
More
says
stories.
anything,
Yeah, it's like-
I'm like, of course it matters. The book from 2 games ago mattered.
Yeah, now I have
love
so
it.
many questions about, wife?
Yep, right.
Alive wife? Dead wife? Undead wife? Because if so, we have something in common.
Everything that Ray owns is like a Chekhov's item.
Right, exactly.
It will come up again.
Turns out it was your wife's wedding ring, but that he was also
Wait, she was having trysts all the way to Cairo.
Dad?
Dad. That would be even better.
Oh my god.
My boy? I thought I killed all my children. I guess Dr. Wright wasn't too careful, was he?
All right. Well, Unhallowed listeners, you're going to have to keep listening to find out about Ray's wife. But Marud approaches you at this point. He'll see you sitting, and he'll ask, "Are you doing well?"
Well, to be honest, I feel like I went 12 rounds with an ancient, powerful spirit that almost kicked my ass, but...
You look good.
Yeah, not as good as I usually do.
Will you be able to continue?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Not particularly happy about being with Billings at the moment. I'm sharing most of the
He's,
load.
like, right
to be
there.
honest.
He's right there, but pretty much oblivious to him. Billings is sucking off of the Boda bag that he brought with him. So you'll see Marud look at Billings real quick, look back at you, nod once, and then he says, "If you need anything, Cal or I are available to you." And he'll walk away.
Yeah, a little salute.
So, Dr. Wright.
Oh, yes. I'm
Cal
just
is
kind of looking at the... Can I see the stars, actually?
Yes, you can periodically.
Okay.
So you will see a point where it's very clear to kind of hazy to you do not see the stars, but you still can see the moonlight coming through.
That's honestly still very impressive based on where we come from, though.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So that, I'm
you
kind of
never
probably
see the stars.
just
otherwise.
a mix between like looking up. If I as I'm scanning the horizons, if I see a patch, I'll look and see the stars because it's so rare I actually see the stars.
Right?
And then I'm just kind of also. I got my paranoia's up right now for some reason.
So Cal approaches as you're looking in the
That's
sky and
right.
says, "Dr. Wright."
Good evening, Cal. How can I help you?
Well, it's actually, how can you help others? There is a child. He does not seem to be doing well. I believe Dr. Wolf is in over his head. Maybe you would come and look at the child?
Well, Cal, a couple of things about that. One, Cal, that child is dead. And two...
He's dead. Dude, I wonder why no one else knows.
Well, what I would do if I were you is check with Dr. Wolf. He made it explicitly clear he does not want me near the child, nor any of the other folks folks is a tough word to say. The other pre-corpses, because, well, he's taken over their care.
So wait, you say he has no interest in being around them? Or you have no interest? I believe I misunderstood you.
No, I went in to the tent back when we were at the camp. I gave my opinion. Dr. Wolf had a different opinion on the state of his patients and strictly forbade me from, practicing on these patients. So Dr. Wolf is the one that needs to take over care and maintain care. He has made it clear he does not want to be near them.
If I could talk Dr. Wolf in allowing you to look at specifically this one child, would you be willing to do that?
Well, if you can go talk to Wolf and have him let me know he would like me to work on the child with
I don't care if he wants you to. The child does not look well, and you're the only one here with the possible ability to keep him alive.
While that is 100% correct, I don't have the capabilities to bring that child back to life here. Apparently we're going to a cave to do that. But if you would go and talk to Dr. Wolf and see what he would like me to do, I will come and call the time of death, if you will.
Cal looks completely perplexed at you, but says, I'll be back. Give me a moment. So Cal walks directly up to you, Dr. Wolf, and says, Dr. Wolf, do you have any problem with Dr. Wright looking at the child? I believe there's a chance he may be able to perform some form of miracle. The child doesn't look well.
Wolf's quiet for a moment. There's a very tense thing as the question's coming up. Is it brief? Let me ask you a question, Cal.
Yes, I don't know if the child has time for questions, but please.
This is a very important question. Does Wright even want to help the child?
Yes, he has told me he would be willing to help the child, but you...
Bullshit. I'm sorry, Cal, that came out...
Frankie?
Dr. Wolf suddenly has Tourette's.
Frankie turns to look at them immediately.
Okay.
Dr. Wright would rather let these people die.
I can't believe that. May I bring him over?
I don't want to be anywhere near him, but if you wish for him to look at the child, go for it.
Would you take over my space with Marud?
I will.
Very good. And so Cal comes back over to you. Says, Dr. Wright, if you would, come with me. As you're looking up, you see Dr. Wolf walking back to...
I've been watching the whole time, so if Dr. Wolf looked over, he would have saw me watching.
Yep, but I don't think he's looking at you, but he does walk over to where Marud is standing at a bed.
Say, well...
Come.
All right, then. I will come and diagnose the child.
All right, so as you get there, Frankie, you're still standing there unless you've done something else.
I'll pat Frankie on the shoulder. Frankie, my boy. And then I'll come over to the child and give him an examination.
You'll probably do way better than me.
First off, chest not moving. Bad sign.
Bad sign.
Bad sign. Second, eyes rolled back, only whites of the eyes shown. Second bad sign.
Speaking in tongues,
yes.
After we get produced him dead, probably Bonagal, I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably Bonagal. Or third, bullet hole in the head, blam, this kid's dead. Okay,
so go ahead and give me your roll.
All right,
Medicine
I'll give you a legitimate medicine roll. I hope it's good. That'd be silly if it wasn't.
If you botch as well.
That'd be so funny. I'm going to check his pulse. Oh, boy. 20.
Okay. So he's dead, but he's just dead.
As I check the pulse, I will immediately tear my hand back and step back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Cal, as I said a moment ago, or as I said a few minutes ago, and I'll look around and see everybody, but then remember that nobody speaks English, as far as I know. This child is dead. Cal.
There's nothing in the valise of yours that could bring him back.
Bring him back to life.
People do die on the table. You've brought them back.
Well, that is true. God. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, he knows just what to say.
Yes, straight to the heart.
Let me see if I actually have anything.
Did you use the last of the adrenaline? No, you didn't use adrenaline.
No, I didn't
Do you
use...
have any amphetamines?
I do have amphetamines, but I mean, they're pill form. So I guess I could put them on...
up.
Do I have a spoon? No. So, I mean...
Terrible.
I know
will-
what you need to do. Just
Yeah.
inject him with hide. That
Yes,
will really
hide.
get him up and
So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll say, well, Cal, I don't have any traditional,
Not traditional. Doctor, we're here in these people's camp. We're trying to save them.
Ooh, actually, you know what? I do have a curiosity. Now that I'm looking at them, I have a curiosity. Because I do have a number of doses of Angel. And so what Angel does is it prolongs the effect. It slows down the effects of you actually turning. So here's what I'm gonna do, because why not? I'm gonna do two things. One, I'm gonna take some amphetamines and, okay, I don't know if this is a doctor thing. I don't know if I could take a pill and just...
Doctor thing.
No, if it's in pill form, you're not injecting a pill.
Well, no, I know. Okay, so then I'm gonna have to...
soluble.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to crush it up and probably put it in a liquid for the drink, or like
Make
put
some
down
form
the
of
solution.
That's
Okay.
possible.
Yes.
Good news, everybody.
And then I'm also going to inject him with some Angel because I'm curious.
The meth suppository.
It's a
Good news.
suppository.
Yeah, that is literally. Does Scott do anything? No. Yeah, so I'm gonna say, all right, Cal. Well, if you want me to try and work a miracle, let's see what I got here. And so I'll crush the pill. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say, Frankie, would you mind helping me out? Could you please lift the boy's chin up and open the mouth? And I'll lean into you and say, be careful, just in case he turns. You
The
don't.
idea of having to take off the head of a child is extremely upsetting to Frankie.
Oh, I can imagine.
But he kind of tamps it down, and he goes and he lifts the head up.
Open the mouth, please.
So let's start with an alchemy roll.
Oh, you're gonna actually make me roll for it?
Please botch. I want this.
No!
Oh, on the corpse. Oh, the corpse.
Well, so much-
Boom.
It was a miracle. I've never seen a body blow up like that.
That's how it works. It's the botch that works, actually. But the problem is I don't know how it worked. That's the crux of it. It works, but
That's why it's a miracle.
that's why it's a miracle. Okay, with an alchemy roll of 16.
So with the 16, you believe that you've got a solution. You are
was
then
able to-
trying to massage it down the throat.
Yeah. So I'll pour it in the mouth, and then I'll say, Frankie, if you could, and I'll like demonstrate how to massage the throat.
So
Right?
you are a superlative doctor. You know
That's
that
true.
at this point, galvanics is what you need as much as anything else. His heart's not going.
Where the hell am I gonna... Oh, I do have a galvanics. That's right. I forgot about that. Okay, well, I have a problem with that. Because... Not that I don't have more charges, it's more of everybody seeing me shock this child. Well, I'm gonna say...
I'll have a distraction. I'll just
Yeah, everybody... Woo! I'm gonna look down and I'm gonna say, well, Cal, I was hoping... Well... I was curious to see if that would work, but the only way to jumpstart this child would be with a little shock, and well...
Then do you have something?
Well, yes, but how do you think the rest of the camp is going to react to me?
To you trying to save the child? I think they would react very well.
Cal, why are you so interested in saving this child?
We need the Bedouins for what we're doing. They're asking for our help. Weren't you the one who came up with the idea of taking them to the cave? The
Yes,
coal?
but...
Weren't you part of this decision?
Yes, but it wasn't so much of
let's
a...
get them there in a condition where we can start.
So-
Frankie, I'm right?
I mean, honestly, I think Frankie's kind of so focused on, like, this little tiny face in his hands. I don't think he hears Cal.
I'm certain Frankie is on our side. Do what you need.
You know what, actually, I'll say, well... Cal, you want to bring this child back so bad. I don't want the entire Bedouins on me. So if you want...
If I was to tell you that I will control them, would you do it and stop bantering around? I can't imagine the child. I don't know medicine, but I can't imagine that there's very long between life and unlife. You're still thinking.
Yes. Because I find this strange, Cal. There's no point. This child is dead. If you wish to bring
If this
him...
were a rich child in the upper portions of London, and the child had died, would you try? You're in an operating room. You have the equipment. Would you try? Would you just let him go? What if it was a wealthy patron? What if it was Grayling? Would you try?
The Grayling thing is interesting to me.
Would you try? Yes or no, Doctor?
It's not that simple, but
It
most
is.
likely I would try.
Then try now.
I think Cal's beginning to realize why Wolf probably said bullshit.
I'm gonna look at him and say, no, Cal. If you wish to try and shock this child back to life, you may, but I don't wish to take the risk in front of all of these Bedouins.
Do you understand that I don't have the knowledge? You tell me where to shock him, and I will shock him, and you need to give me something to shock him with, because I'm not carrying such a device, but you said you could.
Yes, Cal, it's not exactly scientific where to shock the child. It's right on the heart, and it's this right here, and I'll tack it
and
against...
Cal just grabs it from you.
Go for it.
All right. Tell me where to go.
I'll point to the heart.
Okay. Do you tell him anything else?
I'll
Because
say-
right now, I want to tell you
Yeah.
the situation. Right now, Frankie is holding the child's head up, so the tincture is going down the child's throat. You've got Cal there with the device pointing. What do
I'm
you
going to
say?
say, Frankie, please remove your hands. And if you don't move, I'll give you a little shake. Say,
Okay.
Frankie, please remove your hand.
Let him go.
Yes, you can let him go.
All right, and Frankie even fold his hands up against his chest.
I'll pat Frankie on the shoulder and I'll say, well, Cal, go ahead and click the button there, and I'll point to it. I don't know how strong it is. I think one charge should do. So I'll say, click it once.
With a single charge, go ahead and give me your medicine roll. You told Cal where to go. You can add galvanics to it.
Sure. Oh, actually, my galvanics is pretty high. It's a 4. I just don't use it very often. I'll use a reroll. Oh my god! No, it's a critical success.
Oh,
It's 2
damn.
zeros. I'll point exactly where.
All right?
Wait, actually, can I ask, with that galvanics roll, do I know if under the normal circumstance of the charge that one charge would be enough, or if not, can I tell him to add another?
Yes, yours does enough to have that kind of effect. If one does not work, you believe 2 might work. You would potentially ramp it up. But you're at least starting by thinking that 1 would work, a single charge.
Sure.
So the charge goes. The hit is perfect. The child sputters for a moment. And Cal is just staring at you.
I'm looking and I'm seeing,
Do something.
and I'll check his pulse. I mean, what? He's not...
So Cal's looking at you. It says, is he alive? Is he okay? Oh, there is a pulse. It's the same low pulse you had before, but it's there. The eyes are open, and then they slowly flutter and go back out. But the child seems to have a very slow heave to the chest.
And the pulse is still there?
Yep.
Okay.
The really, really, really deep light pulse that was there before.
I'm gonna probably stay there for a second, and actually I'm gonna check another point, and then on the wrist.
Mm-hmm. Everywhere that you were able to find a pulse previously on the ones that you checked,
I'll hold my hand up. Cal, may I have the staff?
Cal gives you the staff.
I'll say, well, I'll be damned. He's got a pulse.
You guys hear Akbar holler something. Ayden and Ray, Akbar hollers, we should move.
All right, let's get going again.
I'll say, well, Cal, the heart's beating. The child's still dead, but the heart's beating.
Frankie, would you like to... What do you mean the child's still dead?
And then I look at Cal and I smile and say, off to the caves. And I'm just going to walk back.
Okay. So, Frankie, would you like the head?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys lift. We go again. We go another 15 minutes, and then another 15 minutes. At this point, you all start feeling that you are going, I'm going to use the words downhill. It has that slope feeling. As you look back, you're losing sight of where you were at the beginning of it. And eventually, in the third 15-minute stop and move, you're starting to make a slow right-hand turn. You can see now pretty distinctly where you're going. There's a rise, there's a mountain rise that you are heading to. The top appears to be rock, where it is desert sands up to that point. At the second hour, when you guys sat down, Akbar comes around, speaks with you, Ayden, and asks you, would you ask each of your people if everybody is okay? And Mei Ling is rubbing her feet at this point. Billings is now starting to chafe at having to do the work that he's doing. He's not bitching about it. He's bitching about his condition. Ray, go ahead and give me I think I'm still going to have vitality roll for you. And you may also add either survival or athletics.
You mean acrobatics?
I'm sorry, acrobatics.
Thank you. 16.
16. You are tired, but you are fine.
He's doing great.
So he comes through and he asks you to check with everyone if everyone is okay.
I'll tell him I will, then I'll get up and start walking towards them and go, yeah, they're so much not okay. But I'll ask them, each one of them, see.
Akbar comes with you to each of you when Ayden asks. Unless you guys have created something that you want to have happen, everybody should be fine. Akbar is going to hand each of you a bag as it comes to you and tell Ayden, to the first one, have them drink.
Take a good drink on this.
And for each of you that takes it, it warms you. It's alcohol-like. It doesn't have that tang of alcohol, but it has that moisture. You're not certain what it is, but it's not foul either. And it gives you a little bit of a bump up. The cold is starting to seep in. If you guys were not moving, you guys would be starting to get very cold on the point of freezing. That's where we're at for cold. So coming down, the next 2 stops were 2.5 hours. Again, he had thought it would be about 3 hours to get there. Mei Ling pulls up, hobbles, and stops for a moment. Akbar hollers, the group stops, the rest of you eventually figure out his bed's in front of you and behind you shut down, and Akbar runs over to Mei Ling, is trying to talk to her. Again, you guys know Mei Ling knows a very, very few Egyptian words, but eventually, I'm assuming, Ayden, you're going to come over and talk. If you don't, Cal will, and you guys find out that Mei Ling she's going to be able to continue, but she is in definite pain. Dr. Wright, you are asked to come over and take a look at her leg.
Okay, for Mei Ling, I'll come over.
Give
But
me a
was
roll.
Billings? I don't know.
Give me a medicine roll. Billings comes over and is talking with her in low tones.
As far as I remember, I have a respect for Mei Ling.
I think we all do.
Yeah. I'm going to use a reroll, see if I can get a little bit better.
Very good.
It's not even that bad. That was worse. I'll use my final reroll. That's better-ish. 16 was my highest.
So with the 16, you can wrap it, and that will give her some support for it. It looks like she twisted it, but when you ask her, she tells you it just one time she put her foot down, it hurt.
Well, I mean, I'll ask Mei Ling if you would like. I could give you a low dose of laudanum, not enough to knock you out, but enough to maybe dull a little bit of the pain.
So she thinks for a moment, and she nods her head and says, yes, that would be fine.
I'll burn a dose of laudanum, but I'm basically giving a fraction of it. If you want, I'll roll medicine because I want to give her enough that'll take a little bit of the pain away.
But not cloud her head.
Whatever the laudanum equivalent of Tylenol is, that's what I give her.
Right, without clouding her head.
Yeah.
Have
That's
I
really bad.
experienced this before?
The weird tweak?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. What I was going to do is I have some bandages, so it's going to wrap the foot up to give her more.
So that's what he's doing. If you
yeah.
offer up the bandages that you carry, he'll use them.
16 again.
All right. So she takes it, and in a minute or two, when we're getting ready to lift up, she says, that helped, doctor. Thank you.
Good.
She seems to be okay. You take a quick look at her eyes with what little light you have. She's not googly-eyed at this point.
So I'll tell her, take it easy. You might not feel it. You will do more damage if you don't.
You go for another half hour. You guys come up a small rise, and at the rise, Akbar puts his hand up, comes to you, tells you, let everyone know, this is the hardest part. We're going down to the cave now.
So heads up, this is the hardest part. Just take your time, and if you need anything, just give a shout.
You guys will get to the edge, and the line, I envision the line of beds doesn't go over the edge, but actually spreads out so you can all look at it. It is a very tight, narrow goat path.
Oh my goodness.
So Akbar says to you, for your people, I believe we should have one of you with one of us on each of them. My boys know the way down. They know where to step. It is treacherous, but if we go slow, we should be fine.
Real quick, if I remember right, didn't Akbar mention to us this is like acclaimed territory?
Yes, he did.
Okay, cool. So as we go into the goat path, I pull my gun out.
Okay. So you have a gun in one hand.
So I have my gun in one hand. I have the valise in my other with the
Yep.
cane slipped
Slipped
through the handle.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. So the group heading down, I want each of you to go ahead and make for me a coordination roll going down. You've now been split up, so each of you is with one of them. The Bedouin that's with you is taking the front, meaning the Bedouin that's with you is either walking backwards in the case of a very few of them, or walking forward, setting the pace going down.
This is relevant. Do I or Wolf stay with the boy?
You would, if you choose to, because right now it's you and Cal with the boy.
How far is it down the path?
It looks to you like maybe 150 feet down.
Wolf got 17.
17.
Hey, that's
Ray.
what I got.
Hey!
I got a 13.
13.
15.
15.
Holy cow.
12.
12.
This is acrobatics or
No, this is coordination only.
coordination?
And Ray, you took into account your minuses.
So that's
I
a
did.
22.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Walk good.
So Ayden, to give you guys an idea why the roll worked the way it did, Ayden has moved through these deserts for quite a while. He's been up and down pyramids. There's a lot of things that you would have done to where your comfort on this hillside is there. So everybody makes it
I also
down.
have Olympic, coordination.
I'm imagining you actually not walking so much as like gliding down. Like you got a couple rocks.
Cartwheeling.
Right.
Got a couple rocks perfect
I need
where
to
you
change
can
my shoes, and he has the shoes with the little
the Heelys.
turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Heelys.
Heelys.
So the guy in front's just driving him.
Yeah. But they're mountain Heelys.
Mountain Heelys.
Mountain Heelys.
They also got light
4-wheel
brights.
drive. So the first of you steps off and into the path area. The most lead of the group is walking in a direct direction towards what appears to be a cliff face. You'll see that there is a very small river bed coming out of it. There is no water presently in it. As you come down the hill, it gets exceptionally colder. I would like for each of you to give me a vitality roll. If you have survival, you can add that.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's a straight vitality roll.
Does my Wastelander
Yes,
survive in the waste so that I don't need to
Throw
make a
one
roll?
reroll.
at all. Okay. Which fits you, Healy running down the hill?
Would natural science help me telling
No.
me how to survive in this place?
No. Survival would be the only one I'll bet you
I
at.
got a 10, then I probably failed.
Wolf got 17.
I also got a 10.
15.
Ray.
Or wait,
Ray's got a 13.
no,
Hold up.
maybe I shouldn't burn one of those for this.
So Raya's sticking with 10,
Yes.
right? Are you sticking with
Do you guys
10?
care if I use one of these?
Use it.
Alright,
Use
cool.
it.
You have to try to beat Wolf somehow, or at least
I'll
match
use
him.
one too,
Very
then.
good.
Ah, it's even worse. Okay, sticking with the 10.
So we've got Wright with a 10.
Unless I want to corrupt myself for this simple roll.
I got
11.
improved.
Okay, so as you get down to the bottom and you guys are walking towards the cave, the cold has dropped easily, or the temperature, has dropped easily another 20 degrees. It is flat out cold at this point. You are all shivering as you're moving towards the cave entrance. Dr. Wright, the cold is getting to the point where you're starting to clap yourself, and you're not one to complain about something like this. It is starting to really bother you. As you guys are now out in a string of 12 beds plus Wright, you are away from the cliff's edge where you came down. You can see the cliff face in front of you. The front 3 or 4 beds, I don't know if any of you are on those beds, the front 3 or 4 beds are going to start seeing the darkness on the front of the cave, the front of the mountain wall. A shot rings out at the foot of the front person, and we will end right there.
Come on.
Oh boy.
Who is it?
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-Sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.